The Turkish Government Scholarship, popularly known as Turkiye Burslari, is a fully funded scholarship to study in Turkey. In this video, I want to break down what you need to do step by step right from now so that you can prepare for the application, you can avoid unnecessary mistakes, and you can increase your chances of getting accepted. Thankfully, this is my 5th year in Turkey, and over the last 4 years, over the last 4 application periods, I have been working with students from several countries who have eventually gotten this scholarship. Unfortunately, some have not gotten, and I want to also share some of the mistakes they have made so that you can avoid them during your own application in 2024. So what are we going to do in this video? First of all, I'm going to tell you what you need to know to apply, and we're going to start from the eligibility criteria. Are you eligible to apply? If the answer is yes, we move to the next step. I will show you 2 websites. The first website is for you to put in your email so you wouldn't forget when the application starts, you get notified. The second one is the website to check the departments and courses available so you can decide if this is for you or not. And then we're going to look at the documents required, and I would explain what to do when you don't have some documents and why some documents are necessary. I would also be giving answers to one of the most common questions I've received regarding documents, especially English proficiency, TOEFL, and all that. And finally, we are going to be looking at the benefits of the scholarship so that you get a total understanding of what the scholarship is about and what you need to do to get it. If you're ready, let the music come in. Dum, 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 dum. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, now the first thing we will do is check the age range that is eligible to apply for the scholarship. Now, if you go to the website, what you'll see is that for undergraduate programs being under the age of 21. But what does this actually mean? It means if you want to apply for undergraduate, bachelor's, or license, your date of birth should be on or after January 1, 2003. If you want to apply for MSc or Masters, your date of birth should be on or after January 1, 1994. If you want to apply for PhD or doctoral, your date of birth should be on or after January 1, 1989. If you want to apply for a research scholarship, your date of birth should be on or after January 1, 1974. Are you eligible? Is your date of birth within this range? If yes, let's move to the next stage together. Type Turkiye Burslari on Google and then come here, click on the first result, if it is the first result for you. Then come here to Turkiye Scholarships, click on Why Turkiye Scholarships, and come here to subscribe. So click on subscribe, you write your name, Baozar, Zakariyyah. I want to apply for whatever I want to apply for. I want to apply for Masters. I put in my email, and then I put in my country. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a Niger boy. I accept you to contact me, and then click on save. Good. So once you have done this, you'll be sure that when application starts, I wouldn't miss it. All right, but you have to check your email regularly too. Okay, now let us quickly talk about the benefits of this scholarship. Here, there are some things I want to explain in detail. That is why I'm mentioning it here. You need to know exactly what this scholarship is about and how things work in real life. So number 1, if you go to their website, you would find all this. Turkish Scholarships provides university and department placement. What does this mean? In the application portal, you will get to a point where you have to choose the course you want to get into and the university. So they are paired together. Let's say you want to study computer engineering. So when you choose computer engineering, you also choose which university you want to get into. That is why it's important to do the research beforehand. At the end of this video, I'll show you which website to use to make that research. You can choose up to 12 universities and courses. You can be placed in any of the 12. So sometimes I tell students to just choose 6, that they know that if you are placed in these 6, you'll be fine. But sometimes you may be placed in a university outside one of those 6 or one of those 12 that you have chosen. So I think it is very important to know this. So what I think you should do is make sure you do your research well, list your universities properly, make sure you have consistent choices, consistent courses too. You don't choose medicine and then choose food engineering. No, they don't match, okay? So that's what this means. Number 2, covers tuition fees. I think this is clear. Number 3, allows you to learn the language of the country. That is, you learn Turkish language for 1 year. This is the condition of the scholarship. If you are awarded the scholarship and you do not have the Turkish C1 certificate already, you have to take the Turkish language for a year. If you already have the C1 certificate, if you have that Turkish certificate from somewhere else and it is accepted, you can start your department straight away. You don't have to spend first year learning the language anymore. Now, let's say you know some level of Turkish, maybe B1 level. What you will do is you improve your level up to the C1 level, you take the C1 exam, and then you can start your studies. All right? Good. Provides accommodation for students arriving in a new country. What does this mean? Every student that gets accepted will be placed in a dormitory automatically. Masters, undergraduates, PhD, everyone will be placed in a dormitory. Different dormitories in different cities. Now, for masters and PhD students, after completing the Turkish language course for a year, they will be given an accommodation stipend to move to an apartment. That is how the accommodation system works. For undergraduate, you remain in the dormitory till you complete your studies. For masters and PhD, you can move to an apartment outside your dormitory after you complete the language study, and you will be given a stipend for that. Okay, number 5, support you on your journey to Turkey and when you return to your country at the end of your education period. What does this mean? It means that the ticket you will be using to come to Turkey will be bought by the scholarship. When you get the scholarship, coming to Turkey is sponsored. After graduation, when you complete your studies, you can also go back to your country with a ticket sponsored by the scholarship. That's what they mean by once-off flight tickets. Number 6, allows you to take full advantage of widespread health services when necessary with health insurance. Every student here will be given health insurance. With this health insurance, you can go to hospitals and get treatment for free. You can also go to pharmacies and buy medicine with up to 70% discount. Number 7, also provides monthly stipend. Every month, you will be given some money to live by. Currently, it is 1,700 lira for undergraduates, 2,400 lira for masters, and 3,000 lira for PhD students. Now, if you want to know how much this money is or how little this money is, depending on your living circumstances, I recommend you to watch my video on cost of living in Turkey. In that video, I showed a website through which you can predict and calculate how much it costs to live in Turkey for a month, how much it costs to get an apartment, how much it costs to get into a taxi. It is so detailed on that website and the prices are regularly updated. More so, I have many videos on me going to the stores or buying things around, and I try to document them once in a while so you see what it actually is like. Now that we understand the benefits of the scholarship, the next step is documents. If you are willing to apply for the scholarship, what are the documents required? And what are the common issues with documents that we need to avoid? I have a lot to say about this, so let's get right started, inshallah. On this same website, let's come here, Turkiye Scholarships, and scroll down to application in 5 steps. This is where we are going to find the documents we need to apply. Number 1, a valid identity document, ID card or passport. Now, if you have your passport, if you have gotten your passport, that is the best document you can use. If it has not expired, okay? Please do not upload an expired document. It's not accepted. If it's going to expire before the application deadline, please do not upload it. Instead, what should you upload? Your national identity card. Now, I understand that in some countries, some do not have their national identity cards yet for various reasons, I understand. What do you upload in this case? First, please try to get your national identity card. If it is lost, try to retrieve it now. Let's say you have tried all your best and you could not get it back. Then, if you have a driving license with some unique identification number on it, you can upload that. Some say you can upload your birth certificate. That I am not sure about. But if you don't have any option and the only thing you can upload is your birth certificate, then at least for you to try your luck, you can do that. Okay, that's number one. Now, a photograph of the candidate taken within the last 1 year. Please try to go to a photography shop and ask them to take a new photo for you. Let them use a professional camera. I know you are using the best phones, or you're using iPhones or Samsungs, and you want to try to take it yourself. There is no problem with that if you know how to, and if you know how to crop it well, and if you know how to take it within the right dimensions. For Turkey, it is 50 by 60, but in your country, it may be different. The dimensions don't really matter at this stage, okay? What matters is how clear the document is, the faces. So if it's possible, please go to a professional shop and get it taken, all right? Don't try to take a picture with your front-facing camera and just upload it. So many students do that, and think about it. 165,000 applicants last year, and you want to stand out, you want to, make your application better, and you are using your front camera. Please don't do that. Number 3, national exam results, if any. It is written here, if any, because it's not a compulsory document. Now, the first 2 are compulsory documents. You must upload them. In some countries, I understand that to get into university, you take a national exam. Everyone in the country takes that exam. For some countries, there are several exams. What you should upload here under national exam results, what they're asking for is that exam that consists of several subject. So if you are from Nigeria or West Africa in general, you can upload your WAEC or your NECO result in this case. I hope that's clear. Not JAMB, not JAMB or post-UTME. Good. Now, number 5, diploma or temporary graduation certificate. What they're asking for here is that piece of document you get after graduation. Oh, congratulations, you have graduated from high school. This is the document we are giving you. That is that document they're asking for here, and it is a compulsory document. Number 6, transcripts. This is also another compulsory document. What is the meaning of transcript? A transcript is a piece of document that contains all your academic records. From country to country, from school to school, from university to university, the style of transcripts are different. Undergraduate applicant, you are applying for university. Your high school transcript is what is needed. High school transcript. In this transcript, you will have all your academic grades listed out in a tabular format. If your high school is 4 years, fine, for the last 4 years. If your high school is 3 years, for the last 3 years. A lot of people have asked through the comment section that I went to high school for 2 years only, or I finished within 2 years. Is that enough? I would say yes. In addition to that, you may try to get the result of 1 year before high school, put them together in a PDF document, and upload it. Okay, the bottom line is that your last 3 years of high school, all your academic grades should be put together in a tabular format, and that single document would be your transcript. Now, where do you get your transcript from? You should get your transcript from your school. If you don't have it, go to your school, go to the principal's office or the academic records office and ask them you need your transcript. A lot of students have told me before that their school do not give transcripts. In fact, they don't use it. I understand, it's possible. In this case, what should you do? You take all your results for the last 3 years of high school. At least at the end of every year, you get a report card, right? A report sheet. Good. Get the report sheet for the last 3 years of high school. Go to a photocopy office, ask them to scan it for you, and combine the 3 of them into one PDF document. That is what you will upload as your transcript. Look, I want you to focus on the main point here. They want to see how well you have done in school for the last 3 years. All right? So to do that, you need to show them the grades you have. To show them, you need to have it all in one place. So if you don't have your transcript, you can make it yourself by just putting your year-end report sheet for the last 3 years of high school, put them together into one PDF document, compress it to make the file size lower, and upload it. In my school, for example, students before me had requested transcript for study abroad applications for admissions abroad. So the school was already familiar and they had their own style of making transcripts. So all I had to do was go, pay, and get my transcript. All right, I hope that's well explanatory. Okay, the next one, international exam results, GRE, GMAT, SAT, if required by the chosen university or program. Okay, guys. At this point, let me show you this website. This is the website for you to search for a university or program. And how do you do that? You can come here and type the name of the course you want. You can come here, choose a city you want. You can choose bachelor's, master's, or PhD here. If you have a university in mind, you can also select it here. You can choose the education field you want to get into here. And finally, you can choose the language of education here. Okay, so now what this means, what this is saying is, if the program you want to get into requires an international exam like the SAT or GRE or GMAT, then you need to upload this document in the application portal. Okay, so how do you know if your program or university requires an international exam like SAT? So for masters, let's say a university like Bilkent would require, so where is Ihsan Doramaji? Let me just write engineering here. Education language, English. Okay, let's see. Okay, good. So Bilkent says that here it says GRE 153 quantitative and a minimum CGPA of 2.8 out of 4. So this is how to check. You type the course you're interested in. If possible, select a university. I purposely chose this one because I know this university is one of the tough ones to get into, so they'll probably ask for GRE. Okay, good. Now, let me try to look for one that may ask for SAT. Middle East Technical University, I think, is a university that can do that. Middle East Technical University, I choose bachelor's and I'll write engineering here. Let's see. Yes, let's see. Is it here? Okay, look. They did not explicitly write SAT. I think that's a mistake. But SAT is scored over 1,600. That is how I know it is SAT. So they need a minimum total score of 1,200 out of 1,600. Yeah, with a minimum math score of 680 out of 800. So when you apply for SAT, or if you have your SAT results, check your mathematics score. Make sure the minimum score is this. Now that you've seen this website, of course, let me quickly tell you how to use it effectively. If you have the program you want to study in mind, just write the name here. If you don't find it, come here to education field, and choose the one most similar. However, there's something you should know, that sometimes if you choose an education field here, you may not get all the results. Let me show you an example. Philosophy and ethics, program search. There is just one result. That means this is the only university and course available under philosophy and ethics. But if you come here and write philosophy, select this and click on search, you'd find so many courses. Of course, there are so many different courses on philosophy. Maybe you didn't want philosophy and ethics. There are other ones here. Let's see. Yeah, so you see that there are way more departments available when you just search for it here. Okay, that's it about this website. Now you know how to check if your course or program would require an international exam. Number 7, international language test results, such as TOEFL, DELF, if required by the university. As you can see here, in this one, it said if required. In the next one too, if required. These are not compulsory documents. If the program you're applying for requires these documents, it becomes compulsory for you to upload these documents during your application. All right, so how do you check if they require TOEFL or DELF? I'll show you how to check, then I'll tell you something about this English language requirement. Any program that is taught in Turkish would not require a language proficiency document. So for us to check which courses would require English proficiency, let us simply choose English. Okay, and let's see, let's choose an education field to reduce our search results. Let's choose business and management, program search. Okay, good. Now we come here, this says what? TOEFL IBT 75. I'll tell you something. I have met several applicants that got this scholarship without having an English proficiency document. And they got into universities, some of these universities that listed that they require a TOEFL score or an English proficiency score. How does that happen? Number 1, I'll tell you one of the most common cases I've seen. These students have an international exam. So remember the SAT or the GRE or the GMAT exams we spoke about earlier on? Some of them have these exams, but they don't have any English proficiency document. So when you take the SAT or take the GRE, you have taken English too. I mean, English is part of the exam, so you get a score in English. Because of that, they can predict your level of English from the score of your international exam. So if you get 1,400 in SAT, for example, it is clear that your English is good because the minimum you get there is 600 or so. Same thing goes for GRE or GMAT. From the score you get in these exams, they can predict your level of English. Case number 2. These are students that are from countries that speak English. Ivory Coast is not an English-speaking country. Of course, some people can speak English there. However, the official language is French. Now, an applicant from Ivory Coast and an applicant from, let's say, South Africa would be evaluated differently because of the level of English. Now, an applicant from Ivory Coast studied their high school in French but took English, while an applicant from South Africa, for example, it could be Ethiopia too. I've seen some. It could be Pakistan too. Probably studied in a high school that teaches all their courses in English. In that case, that person has undergone an education in English and they are more familiar with the language. Now, if the academic records are high enough for the scholarship to say, oh no, we just have to take these students, they can also place them in this department. The third case I have seen is that a student does not have an English proficiency document, the student does not have an international exam, but they still got into a department that is taught in English. Now, in that case, what will happen is that the university that students get into would ask the students to take an English proficiency exam before they can start their course. So after the 1-year Turkish language course, before they can register into the department, they will have to take an English proficiency exam organized by the university or the department. So after you complete STOMER, that is the Turkish language course for 1 year, the next thing is to apply for the English proficiency exam organized by your university. Take that exam, make sure you get above the minimum score required. In some cases, it is 70, some is 75. Maybe for some programs, I think on the PhD level, it may be 60. Yes, minimum, okay? Make sure you get that exam. Now, just in case I forget to mention this later on, if you ever find yourself in this shoe, please make sure you go to your department and ask them when that exam is conducted, because if you miss it, you will have to take the English language course for 1 year. All right? Okay, so I hope you understand everything said about the English proficiency. The best thing is to just have the documents, but if you don't have, still apply. That's the bottom line. Try your luck, okay? You may be among one of these 3 cases to get in. I also remembered one more thing. In case you don't have and you want to prove your level of English, you can get an official letter from your university stating that these students are studied throughout in English and they have a good command of the English language. So we request that you waive the English proficiency document for them for so and so reasons. All right, now finally, the last document is a proposal for a research topic and a written example of the research you have carried out for PhD applicants only. My dear PhD applicants, you must have done some research during your master's. Yeah, so please tell them about that master's research, okay? Right, tell us your thesis topic, tell us what you wrote about, give us your abstract. Now, in addition to that, for your PhD, what topic would you like to work on? What's your research proposal? That is what they want you to do here. Come down here to this part. If you read what they say here, you will see that we have spoken about many of them throughout our video, but I still suggest that you read it, okay? Most programs in Turkish universities are taught in Turkish language. Please keep this in mind. All right, please keep that in mind. All right, guys, we have come to the end of this video. I hope it was educative. I hope it was enlightening. Now you know all about the Turkish Government Scholarship. You know what you need to do to increase your chances of getting the scholarship. You know the mistakes to avoid. You know the documents to start preparing. Now, if you want to apply for the Turkish Government Scholarship and you want to see how to use the application portal, how to apply step by step, how to answer every question, how to prepare your document, how to make sure you write the letter of intent, how to make sure you don't make any mistakes. I have so many videos on my channel. The first one you can start with are these videos right here about how to apply step by step. Then I have a very good video on how to write the letter of intent. Alhamdulillah, it's one of the best performing videos so far. This one, proven techniques and examples. Finally, you can see videos on mistakes to avoid and documents and interviews, documents, mistakes to avoid. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching and I wish you good luck with your application. Assalamu alaikum.